I'm immunologist basically, so I moved to hematology over years recently, and to translational even later on, because I think it's moving to translational research is really the matter of maturation. Within the OEO department, I think we won a lot because we can really get synergy between the teams, which we didn't really have before, because since the CRCM is quite large institute now, with more than 400 people, it's difficult to know everyone. But within a department, then we can really share things, share ideas, and share technologies. So I think it's really a big jump for us, and a big advantage to be organized as such. For a long time, researchers were really working, trying to increase knowledge, and then bring the knowledge to the bedside. Now we start to see some research program where the clinicians are coming with their questions and ask us, do we have a model, do we have an idea how to address that? Because I get 2 patients that didn't respond as I expect. So I think we have our place now to also make research depending on the medical need and the staff that are given within hospital. So I think this bidirectional exchange is just an incredible added value, especially here at CRCM, because we are on the same site, we just have to cross the parking. So that's really a big advantage, I think, yeah. The CRCM has been the first one to start with reduced conditional regimen for transplantation, meaning that we can transplant people that have leukemia. The treatment is, the cure is really the transplantation. And we can start to transplant people that are older and older, because leukemia, at least the acute myeloid leukemia on which my team is working, is a disease of old people, of elderlies. So now we can really transplant people over 70 years old, which was not the case even 10 years ago. So I think it's really a big new development that was achieved, to my knowledge, first here in Marseille. So that was really a concern. When we decided to be organized in departments, we said some researcher was thinking that maybe department will just separate things, and then we will lose somehow a strength, which is the diversity of the fundamental research program. So one of the ideas was to cross-fertilize the departments, is to start thinking on research programs that may interest, for example, DNA repair, that may interest metabolism, that may interest everyone in the center. So I have been in charge of thinking to such a project, and we came up with the idea to work maybe on aging, on hematopoietic aging especially, because as I mentioned, some diseases in hematology are really disease of elderlies. So the idea was, can we measure the real age of people in terms of biology and not in terms of ID cards? So the idea is not to get the apparent age, but the real biological age. And that will be one of the program we want to develop together with the people working on metabolism and DNA repair. Because, for example, what is really important to think is that microenvironmental cues, pesticides and stuff like that, are harming our body over years. So meaning that somebody which is exposed or which is not exposed, at the end, do not have the same real biological age. So the idea is to ask this kind of question behind that. I think it's really important for us today to get Professor Arnold as a keynote speaker, because he is writing the European Leukemia Net recommendation every 2 years, and this somehow fill the project we develop, because depending on this recommendation, then patients are stratified in adverse, intermediate, or good prognosis. Depending on which group the patient belongs, then it won't be treated the same. And we won't make the same research program depending on the patients. So I think this is somehow really important to get this view of international collaboration, because we can then put together clinical data and samples and then address questions in silico, in computers. And then once we tested the hypothesis on a large cohort in silico, then we can really decipher, okay, these patients will beneficiate from our research program, and we have to focus on this kind of patients in order to improve the treatments that we can give in the hospital. So that's all the idea of this broad data mining international collaboration on data and on samples and sharing ideas and so on and so forth.